And there, now it's actually live. Okay. I clicked the wrong button, but we're good now. Hello, fellow MechWarriors. Welcome back to MechWarrior 2nd Edition. The gang's all here. I've got their audio enabled. Everything's going great. How you guys doing tonight?
Can't complain.
Hey there, hey there, ho there.
Yeah, we're back after taking a week off. It was kind of a last-minute thing, but I had to go and make a shopping trip down to New Hampshire, of all places. But we got that all taken care of. But we're back this week for another round. When we left off, you guys were on the planet Gunsberg, having just completed a very interesting operation. You liberated the prison camp on the planet, helping out the Resistance, who is very much on their last legs. And when we last left off, you're spending a couple days on the surface to avoid suspicion before lifting off.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
I thought it was a little longer than a few days, but yes, that is what we're doing.
Yeah. I would imagine we'd want to lie. I imagine we want to lie low just to avoid drawing attention before we have to leave.
Okay.
We did kind of, blow up an entire star of mechs and liberate a major prison camp after all.
Alright, so when we last left off, you guys were still at the very small rural spaceport, kind of a backwater that the clans don't check very often. So you figure you've probably got another week or so before another team cycles through to check on the place.
And sees that there's no defenders.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely a stretch of the planet that nobody really seemed to care about. Gunsberg in particular seems to have been pretty lax, all things considered, outside of the cities.
That may not be the case for long after this, once the news gets back.
Well, we listened to the official, radio broadcast of the clans, and they haven't mentioned anything about anything. So
To be
right
fair,
now,
they may not even know what happened yet.
Actually, that gives me an interesting idea. Did Val happen to give any of a copy of the footage that was taken to the rebels?
if they want it, they can. Yeah, no, she's more than happy to copy
broadcast,
everything.
you think?
Yeah, you guys haven't been in contact with them since the operation. You parted ways, but you are still in the town if you want to try and get a hold of them again.
If you do want to get a hold of them again, Val is willing to essentially assist as a medical semi-expert to help.
I was thinking more that you share the footage to make a pirate broadcast.
I mean, sure, it could do that too. There's lots of things that could be done to help.
I'd rather be out of the system before that thing hits.
Still a good idea to hand the footage over for them to play with even after we leave.
Okay, I mean, if that's the case, I have Val has like the equivalency of like an 80s video camera and whatever ROM footage she's stitching together, but I'm not sure if we have how you'd make a copy of a tape or something like that. That may be equipment that she doesn't have laying around.
That doesn't seem very difficult.
If you want to get some data from your mech's battle ROMs and get it printed out, I'm sure that Annette could give you a hand with that.
Okay, then if the request came from Zach to do that, then absolutely that would give Val something to do, and
I don't even think Zach knows you did it.
Oh, she's been fairly vocal about wanting to document everything that they see because somebody has to know about this, and she wants to give it over to the magistracy.
And technically, Zach would know that all the mechs are recording out their sensors the whole time.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the video stuff that she was doing, not the battle ROMs.
I mean, I think it's probably pretty reasonable that she would have mentioned it in passing several times, I would think. But if not, that's
We'll rule it that way. You guys know.
Okay.
Okay. Let me roll something to see if Zach even gets the.
Okay, you can do that. Flip a coin, any coin.
I'm gonna say yeah, he does get the idea.
Okay.
So I guess Zach's gonna go and go over the intercom. Hey Val,
It's the intercom. She can't respond.
why not?
I guess she'll stumble. Go for like get her walkie and say, "Yeah, what is it?"
Hey, if you want to make a copy of those videos, I'm gonna see if I can get in contact with that dude in town. See if he wants a copy.
Okay, yeah, I could do that. And yeah, I suspect she'll probably seek out Annette because there is some technicality to stuff like this that she's unaware of.
Okay, so yeah, you exit wherever it was that you were, and head toward the mech bay. As you're walking down that way, you actually hear raised voices. The technicians are very much they're doing their work and trying very hard not to look at where Annette's standing over in the center of the mech bay, where
They're not still done a 24-hour hold down, or is this after that?
this is after that.
Okay.
They're going about their stuff, and Annette's having a very heated discussion with James at the moment.
One moment, I have to take a call.
All right, whatever, dude. So they're going back and forth, and he's explaining to her, look, you can't run both of these tools at the same time. They're both on the same circuit. You're gonna end up blowing something out in the back. It's really not designed to handle this kind of load. Well, why isn't it? I've been able to do this before, no problem. Yeah, on the Armistead, where I had specifically built it so that you could run both of those things at the same time. Well, why isn't this ship built the same way? Because it's a cargo ship, Annie. It's not meant for this sort of thing. It's been converted, but it's not designed to handle that kind of load. It just can carry mechs. That's not what it's for. Now, you keep running these two things at the same time, you're going to end up blowing one of the resistors. Those are mounted toward the outer hull of the ship, which means that the only way to fix it is to go outside the ship and pry open one of the exterior panels. And that's a pretty tricky operation to do if we're underway out in space. She thinks for a moment, says, all right, well, here's the thing. If you're too scared to do your half of the job, getting the ship up and ready to go, and it does end up going, I'll go out and fix it, but I need to run both of these things to get my work done. And James looks like he wants to say something in response. The last comment has clearly gotten to him. He's making a bit of a fist, and then just kind of lets it down, holds up his hands, and says, you know what, Annie? Fine. It's your world. I just happen to live in it. He turns around and walks off.
Gosh, it's kind of like moonlighting, isn't it?
Okay, I guess we will approach Annie. Is this a bad time?
She shrugs her shoulders and says, that probably wasn't necessary. I'm sorry you had to watch all of that. No, it's fine. What do you need?
Oh, well, I know how to record footage and I know how to pull the footage from the ROMs. I don't know how to copy it and out of the master tapes that I've got, and she's probably got like at this point like a duffel bag of them. If I wanted to make a copy of this stuff, or at least to give it over to what happened at the prison camp break, yeah, how would I do that?
Oh, yeah. You got a duplicator out in the back. Follow me. I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
Oh
And,
yeah.
So she brings you into the briefing room where the holo table setup is at, and she gets she gets the footage tapes from you, the discs, and puts them in, and it pulls up a 3D image of a 2D display, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it basically just like projects a flat screen in the hologram, and is showing starts showing the footage that's there. And she grabs another disc from off the shelf, slots it in, and shows you a few different commands on the keyboard setup that controls the whole thing, and shows you how to select a certain section of footage and copy it in, how to cut and trim things if you wanted to make it a sort of highlight reel or just copy the raw footage.
Okay. So then, yeah, she'll copy or spend some time, probably with Zach's help a little bit, to copy the battle footage for the camp liberation, as well as
Just
very clear evidence of the clanner mech pilot shooting into the camp and killing people and everything else.
Okay.
just try to scrub the tactical data from the ROMs, and rather than not know that we have clan equipment.
Okay.
Oh, and
Um,
that's got that handled. She's already pulled anything sensitive off. It's just video footage.
Gotcha.
Okay. Then yeah, that's what we'll probably spend a couple hours doing.
Okay. So it doesn't take hours. You're able to get a copy of it made within about 15 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
All right, now we'll
All
run
right.
it. I am going to run it down and take one of the skipjacks over to the what the hell is it called? The bar. Yeah, the bar scene
Okay.
where we first went to.
Um, are you gonna go by yourself, or do you want to stay to help them, or do you think we should try to keep our distance? Because I know they probably got hundreds of people who need medical attention, and I can help. Um, I've got
If,
limited medical supplies, but I can still help.
if you want to come with, that's fine. But I'm not sure if we can help that much. We could probably spare some supplies, but yeah, come with.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Is anyone else going?
I don't think anybody else knows.
Probably not me. I'm probably in the Archer working on it and may have been watching Annie have this confrontation with James, but I'm busy there.
Yeah, you probably saw it. Everyone in the mech bay saw it. It was very public.
Yeah, Gareth would have been working with Mora on his quick draw at this time.
Okay. So we'll come back to you guys in a bit. So you hop on the skipjack and ride it off into town. The bucket loader from before is still parked in the middle of the street.
Right.
Are the corpses have they been cut down?
So I won't make you roll a driving check this time. You saw it done last time, so you're able to squeeze your way past it like before. The three corpses that were there before are now gone, and there is a new one in its place. And there is a sign around its neck that says "Traitor."
Oof.
And as you look closer, you do actually recognize this guy. This is the bartender.
Oh
Ooh.
God.
So the
Yeah.
bartender was narking to the clans?
So it would seem.
Maybe we don't want to stick around here that long after all.
Yeah, maybe we should make sure if we got charged to get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know
let's hurry
I'm
this
not
up.
there, but I assumed it was the clans hanging bodies from the loader there. Am I just completely backwards on this?
It was before, yes.
It was the clans hanging. Okay.
Hey Zach, you think we should call this?
I'm gonna. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get on the horn. Say, guys, I'm gonna call into the bridge. I'm gonna assume it's Yuki that's intercept. That's
Yeah, Yukiko comes back. Go ahead.
Yuki, go and get James up to the bridge and tell him to prep for 15-minute evac. We might have a problem.
Roger that. We'll start the process. Everything okay over there?
Yeah, just something I saw. We could probably take care of this in about 10 minutes.
Roger that. We'll be ready for you when you get back.
Okay then.
All right, we're gonna head over to the bar and make it snappy.
Okay. So you go in, and there is a collection of people inside, and you recognize most of these guys as being Kung's Army resistance. You saw these guys at the abandoned house before, and the lieutenant is sitting at the bar, smoking. He
I'm
looks
gonna
up as you come in, says, "Ah, good to see you guys."
Yeah.
Well,
Should we be worried about the dude that's hanging out from the old bartender?
not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but I mean, considering that sounds like he was doing some dirty stuff. I mean, are we? Do you think that our ship is compromised?
No, no, I don't think so. Here's the thing with him. We picked him up trying to run in toward one of the towns. He was taking the back roads, trying to sneak around. Well, that happens to be the exact same roads that we use when we try to get around. He went through one of our picket lines. We stopped, questioned him. He was acting kind of suspicious, so we held on to him for a while. Then, when you guys busted out the prison camp, we started talking to some of the prisoners. Turns out that motherfucker out there is one of the guys who was turning them in.
Gee, yeah. It's well. Speaking of the prison camp, Zach's gonna slide a disc over. This is a copy of an edited copy of our battle ROMs and some extra footage that we have, in case you're able to distribute it.
He lightens up substantially, takes a look down at the disc, and puts it in his shirt pocket. Says, "Thanks. That's actually going to be a great help. We have some contacts in the media over in the cities. We might be able to get a pirate broadcast going."
He's just gonna smile and said, we're gonna jet."
Yeah. Well, you've definitely done quite a lot for us. We really appreciate it.
All right, keep up the faith, man.
We'll do what we can. It's going to be better now that you guys have helped us out. We've got a bit of a shot in the arm. It's going to take us a while to get these people back on their feet, but when they do, that's a lot of guns.
Oh, Val here was wondering if you guys needed any supplies or any medical supplies.
No, we're always in need of supplies and extra sets of hands. We don't have a lot of medics left. Most of them were, well, a lot of our docs were civilian, but they all got rounded up. And once they found out they had a valuable skill sets, the clan put the hurt on them pretty good. And, well, they were high value targets for execution.
We probably don't have time if we're gonna try to dust off out of here, but I think
Well-
Val can actually root around and provide like a field guide for injury or,
Well,
if you're like a manual that she would otherwise have on her at all times in her bag and just hand it to the guy and say this could help if you but we got to get going, I think.
actually, that problem has been averted since we just talked about him. I think we're all right there, but I'm going to call back and see if we can get Dr. Jason to get a care package together of some general supplies.
Okay. So yeah, Dr. Jason, you chat with him for a minute on the horn. He says, "Yeah, I can throw some stuff together. Do you need an extra set of hands over there? I don't have a whole lot to do here at the moment."
Where are they being taken care of anyway?
We've got them back at one of our underground bases. It's another abandoned farmstead, kind of like the one you guys saw. It's about another 30 miles from here.
All right. Well, how about we just leave get some supplies together? I don't think we have time to mess around with that.
I understand. Yeah, personnel's hard to come by, but supplies are just as badly needed. We'll be happy with whatever you guys can give us.
All right. Sounds good. Dr. Jason, get that stuff together and we'll run it over to him.
You got it. I'll have one of the guys deliver it to you in about 15 minutes or so.
All right. That sounds good.
Okay then. Yeah, let's make our way back cuz yeah.
So while we're driving, or while I'm driving back, it's like, so I wanted to thank you for all that. That was a good idea. How about I have an idea of something I want to do to my Centurion, and I think your negotiation skills would come in handy for that.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, I kind of have my eyes on that big fat Gauss rifle that's attached to Ross's brand new Shadowcat, and I'd like to make a trade for it.
Oh, I suppose you want me to do the negotiation?
Well, you do have the gift of gab.
Uh, sure, yeah. And you know what? Since you're family, I won't even charge you.
All
She'll
right.
kind of smile a little bit.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So we'll come back to that. Let's head over to Hudson for now.
All right.
Fly on the wall.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, unless something's changed, I have taken Annette's new situation to heart and have gone to start going over the Archer and figure out what I can do. I now have one rank in mech tech, and I am putting it to best use as I can.
Okay.
I'm absolutely reading the manual how to fix a mech and trying to figure out what I'm expected to do here.
Okay. So what I will allow you to do is make a mech tech check at -1 for using the manual.
Neat. All right, hang on. Come on, don't let me down. Huh. I needed a 7 and I got an 8.
Okay. So you're able to go through, and it's all making sense, and that's kept it in pretty good shape up until now. So there's really not much wrong with it. Your weapons were drifting slightly out of alignment, but you've managed to reel them back in. So everything on your mech seems to be functioning properly.
All right, fair enough.
Good job.
Mm. Yeah, I'm probably having to keep to myself. I'm just going to go and assume the rest of the tech staff is giving me a cold shoulder right now.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And someone might be noticing that.
I am, however, taking
We
the
will
time
get to Gareth in a second.
I am, however, taking the time to hand draw on the picture of a mech next to the kill list next to the cockpit.
Okay.
That's cute, actually. I never thought of that.
So right now there is a guy's leg, a commando's arm, and now an actual mech painted on there.
Okay, so for that, how artistically inclined is Hudson?
I mean, a step above stick figures.
Okay, give me.
So like DeviantArt tier.
Trying to think.
Hey!
Trying to think what a good attribute this would be for.
Not that bad.
Special
Let's
interests
see.
are usually a mental check.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do mental then.
Alright. I feel very mental. Let's see how we do.
Well, yeah, the artsy stuff are all covered under
Now
special
this
interests.
you don't have anything for this, so it's roll twice and take the lower result.
Aw.
Yeah.
Usually you roll 3 dice and take the lowest 2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Roll a third d6.
Alright, let's just roll this one.
I got D&D rules there for a second.
Alright. Okay. So that is a total of 7. My mental is a 9, however.
Okay, so that is a fail, with a margin of 2. So you scrawl something that vaguely looks mech shaped onto this thing, but it's anyone's guess as to what that really represents.
Alright, probably get paint all over my hands in the process.
Yeah, it's
a
vaguely
mech.
humanoid.
Yeah. That sounds about right. But yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to do?
Nothing immediately comes to mind. He sort of is coming to terms with the new social arrangement, but he specifically put that into motion, so he can't really complain too much about it right now.
Okay. So yeah. Apart from the techs that are working on the regular maintenance of your battle mech, none of which is Angie,
Yeah.
or Hobson, notably. Everyone, including Hobson, is giving you the cold shoulder around the mech bay. It would appear that you are
Yeah.
no longer his favorite guy.
For shame.
Yeah, Hudson has sort of like a resigned expression on, just like he doesn't like it, but he's used to this situation, so it's like, okay. And
All
just
right.
keeps working.
Okay, Gareth.
So, of course, Gareth is helping Mora on his quick draw, but even he is starting to notice a change in the atmosphere. And at some point he asks, why does everyone seem to be in such a foul mood?
Mora wipes at her forehead with the back of her arm, getting a little bit of grease on it, sets her tools aside, says, you know who Angie is?
F. I am familiar with her.
Well, she and Hudson had a bit of a flirtation going on. And she was pretty well convinced that, well, she had a pretty big crush on him and was trying to drop hints here and there, and he seemed to be reciprocating. Finally managed to get a date. She was over the moon, just real happy about it. It was disgustingly adorable. And then when they actually have a date, I don't know exactly what happened between the two of them, but she came back and was just incredibly depressed and almost in tears.
He pauses for a moment as he thinks about this. And then
Angie's
asks,
like a little sister to all of us around here. We love her to death. She's just such a sweet
Aw.
person. We can't get enough of her, and we've never seen her this upset about something. And honestly, you know, we're all family here. Imagine it's like your Sibco. Imagine if somebody roughed up someone in your Sibco. You'd be pretty pissed about it.
his expression begins to change very subtly, but Mora would know exactly what this look means.
Like, now don't get any crazy ideas, Gareth. We're taking care of it. We have our own ways of dealing with people like this.
And so do I. I will be right back.
Grabs the laser.
Okay, she is going to attempt to grab your wrist. So, are you going to shake yourself free of her?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be contested then. So, we're going to make this... I'll let you use your hand-to-hand combat if you want.
Yep.
Your unarmed combat. She's going to be going
This is going to end up with
reflexes.
a quickie.
All I can think of is Peter Griffin in Meg. I'm just going to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
Just want to talk to him. Loading the shot.
All right, so my unarmed, the roll I need is a 4.
Okay.
And I rolled exactly a 4.
Okay. She had a margin of success of 2. So
The dice hate my guts, as usual.
You try to break free, but you get the idea that if you try any harder to break free, you'll end up in an actual fight, and you're not quite willing to fight her. So she manages to hold on to you and says, Gareth, please, don't go making this worse than it already is. It's bad enough. Just let us handle it. Okay, this is our family. Angie's one of ours. We've got this.
Big sister
well.
energy.
But someone needs to set him straight.
That's what we're doing. He's got to do a lot of his own work now, and honestly, if you piss off the techs, there are about 1,000,001 ways that they can get little bits of revenge here and there. He'll find out.
Soon.
In fact, that gives me some ideas.
Uh-oh. I'm sickened but curious. She gets a bit of a mischievous glint in her eye. As long as it's not physically violent, I'm listening.
Oh, nag, it will not be physically violent unless we get caught.
All right. What's your plan?
He leans over and whispers into her ear an idea that he has to paint an epithet of some sort onto the archer.
Oh, you're going to steal that from me? God damn it. All right.
Well, maybe you can get Zach in on it. In fact, I have a great idea. Zach's already thinking of this. So how I'm going to play this out is you guys both at some later point in this game, you guys both are going to go paint the thing, like you're sneaking around and you bump into each other carrying a can of paint.
Yeah, we can each do one cheek.
Okay, cool. So we'll come back to that later. That way nobody's idea gets stolen. But yeah, yeah, Mora kind of she grins and says, "Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm in." Okay.
So that seems done. Who's next?
That would be Ethan.
Ethan is basically going to be editing his battle ROMs and also going over what supplies we need to take on when we hit Pomme de Terre. Because I imagine we're probably running a little light on some things.
You've given
Is that-
away a bunch of stuff, but yeah, when you get to Pomme de Terre, you can easily reprovision. It is an agriculture world, so there will be plenty of opportunity to.
Oh, yes. One of the things that I'm doing is that I'm getting a list of stuff for. I'm going to go find Cookie and see about, like, all right, I want fresh eggs, like high quality steak, lobsters or crab legs if we can get them, like the fixings for a high end feed.
Okay, so yeah, you get a list of ingredients from Chef, and he goes through, and after a couple minutes of this, he says, "Jesus Christ, boss, you making it sound like you're getting their last meal ready for them."
It was kind of a tradition we had in the heavy guards. Is right before a major combat drop was surf and turf, steak and crab legs.
Well, I can whip up a mean surf and turf. I got it handled.
Excellent.
Okay, so yeah, you get your supply list together, and you should be pretty well set in that regard.
Usually that's Rachel's thing, but I can see them working together on it.
Yeah, Rachel's definitely giving him a hand with it.
Not the only thing she's giving me a hand with.
That comes later. And off screen.
Oh yeah, it's his technique suggested it's really like protein powder, all of the protein.
Lots
powder.
of protein powder. Yes, the clan labor cast loading up your dropship are like, what do these people need so much protein powder for? All right. So yeah, you've got that all set up. Is that all that you're doing right now?
Ethan wants to address the Hudson in Angie situation, but he trusts Annette to have it in hand.
Okay.
Just gonna let it be for now.
Yeah, he's gonna let it be for now.
Okay. So yeah, around this time, Zach and Val have returned from their trip.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I think, yeah, if we don't have time to do any actual medical work because we're getting ready to dust off, then, yeah, the last thing I would do is just kind of check up on Thomas Ward.
Okay. So yeah, you find Thomas. It takes a little bit of looking around for him. You find him in one of the corridors, and as you're approaching, you can't hear the words that are being exchanged, but he's in the corridor with Angie, and appears to be doing that thing, like, that thing that guys always do in movies where they, like, lean over the girl, like, against the wall that she's up against.
Yes.
Oh,
the
right.
one arm, he's doing that whole maneuver. She looks like she's gone white as a sheet, and after a few words are exchanged, she just runs off, brushes past you, heading away from him. And
uh-oh.
Thomas looks visibly crestfallen and looks down at his hand for a moment and just kind of closes it slowly and lets it fall to his side.
Everything all right, Star Captain?
I believe I may have overstepped.
What happened?
Well, it is slightly embarrassing, but, well, technician Angelina is a rather attractive young woman, and I offer the I suppose the inner sphere word is proposition.
Oh, I see. I think I've heard of this. Yes. You wanted to connect for an encounter, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, we use the word couple.
Couple.
Yes, and
I seem to
okay.
have frightened her, I'm afraid, and that was not my intention. He looks down at his hand again. It seems to be one of the few talents that I have.
And she'll kind of actually pat him on the shoulder and say, "We'll just chalk this up to a cultural misunderstanding." I can go talk to her, but don't feel bad. It's I'm sure our rituals towards that are rather complex and unnecessary, and from your culture, I suppose it's difficult to really come to grips with it.
I think it may be more than that. He
In
is
what regard?
now staring
Freak.
very deeply into his hand and says, "You see this?" Sorry, you had something, Oswald?
Oh, I just thought that she was afraid of getting split in half.
That was my thought too.
So you'd think that, but I've read in several of the novels that it is apparently quite common for elementals and non-elementals to hook up.
Oh,
In
Lord.
both.
I know. Just ask Gareth.
Yeah, well, but also the reverse of that, and it's apparently a perfectly normal thing that happens. But anyway, he staring down into the palm of his hand says, "What do you see when you look at this, MechWarrior Valeria?"
See a mountain of muscle and strength.
Precisely. I had always thought the power that was in my hand was a gift. It allowed me to serve my purpose better than anyone else. I was built, engineered from the ground up for one purpose. That was righteous combat, to protect the innocent, to take on the burden of violence so that others could avoid death and destruction. I was proud of it. But when we came to the inner sphere, they all trembled to look at me. They all shrank away from me, much as Technician Angelina just has. They look at me and they do not see a noble warrior like I used to see myself. And now when I look at myself, I see what it is that they see. I have been built a monster.
And she'll kind of pause for a moment and say, "I don't believe that's the case, Thomas. I think many people fear what they don't understand, and I've certainly struggled with that at times as well. The clan ways are so different, and the war is so fresh. But as I'm understanding the people behind it, you're more than just a weapon, you're a person as well. And just because you were born with a specific role in mind does not mean that that's all that you are."
Perhaps, and yet I remain a genetic aberration in the eyes of these people. I do not know what to do with myself. I have no skills outside of battle, nor do I have the frame for such things. It is, for better or worse, what I am, and it cannot be changed.
Thomas, how old are you exactly?
I am 19 years old.
And she's gonna kind of look a little shocked at that. And how old would you live were you to die of old age?
Old age is rare among elementals, but we have lived well into our 70s, our 80s, depending, though the genetic modifications means that we do tend to die a bit younger than most.
So you've lived a life of training and preparation, and 19 years is it's a long time. It's a lifetime, but there's still at least 2 or 3 other lifetimes you've yet to live. If you think about it, you're not going to be the same person you are at 40 when you are at 19, certainly not at 60. There's
I-
nothing written in stone that says you have to stay the exact way that you are. We grow, we learn, we change, we adapt. I mean, I've it's a little interesting. If the circumstances that led up to me entering the pilot seat never happened, I would very much be a laborer in your eyes, I suppose. But I'm not. And if I had to choose my profession or what I would do, I would choose to be a doctor. But I do this work because it's necessary, because there's nobody else out there that's going to save those children. I can't afford to leave. But when all this is over, there's so many other things I can also choose to be. So can you.
You are blessed, MechWarrior Valeria, to have spent some time thinking of your future. I always assumed, indeed, it was my duty to know that I was to die in battle at an early age. In clan society, age is not considered a virtue. Those who live to old age are considered not to have fought hard enough. You should, at some point, die in battle. And if you do not die in battle, you simply were not trying hard enough. I have never given much thought to what comes beyond the age of 23.
Well, from the sound of it, you can't go back to the clans, and our ways are still very new and different. But I have to think that you're not the monster that you think you are, because you feel remorse, you question things, and that shows you still have a heart. So there's more to you than just the sum of your pieces. There's more to all of us than just that.
Perhaps, but I live among your people now, and what I can be is going to be affected more strongly than anything else by how your people perceive me.
Well, you're a part of the black sheep, for good or for worse. So am I. And we get to define who we are. And while it may not be easy at first, or may be strange at first, you'll get to decide that as well too.
I shall do my best. Thank you for the words of encouragement. You are a very considerate woman.
I suppose it comes with being a Canopian, but thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. And don't be so hard on yourself.
I can see what draws Helmsman Richard to you.
Oh, she's gonna feel her face get a little warm. Oh, thanks. Okay, well, I'm gonna go and check up on Angie.
Do express my apologies. I did not mean to upset her.
I will. It's one of those things that I told the rest of the command that there's going to be cultural differences. This is just one of those. So I'll see what I can do to smooth it over.
His face is now rather red, very embarrassed, and he just kind of shuffles his feet and walks further down the corridor.
Okay, and we are going to radio Annette. Annette, come in.
Go ahead.
Can I switch you to channel 5?
Copy that. She switches over to channel 5.
And she's gonna make sure no one else is listening. So I think there was what we call a cultural misunderstanding with Angie.
Tell
Thomas...
me about it.
Oh, you already know then.
Oh yeah, those damn Steiners and their stuck-up nonsense. I swear to God.
Not that. No, there's something else.
Oh God, not another one. What's Hudson done now?
No, it's Star Captain Ward. He let's just say that he was operating under his cultural assumption of, shall we call it, dating, and he is afraid that he might have scared Angie a little bit.
God, why can't people just leave my texts alone?
he didn't mean anything bad behind it, so he just wanted to make sure everything is all right. I don't know where she is, but yeah, I would assume you would.
Okay, yeah, she's over working with Mora on the quick draw at the moment.
Okay. Just assure her that she's not in any danger. It was just a their way of asking a person out to a date, shall we say.
Okay. Uh, I guess. Like, what happened specifically? Like,
I didn't catch it. I'm sure she'll be able to tell you specifically, but if what I understand, I guess they're more forward, sort of a want to smash sort of thing.
oh God,
I think that's what they say, but yeah, she
let me smash.
exactly. Let me
Do a
smash.
monkey with me.
I'm so glad you got that reference. All right. Yeah, I'll chat with her about it, I guess.
Just she knows you better than me, but I want to assure you, Ed, that he's not going to be a problem. Okay, it was just a misunderstanding.
Okay. Yeah, try to keep the gorillas under control, will ya?
Hey, I'm trying it. I am really trying. Okay.
All right, all right. Look, I know it's a handful. It's well, I'd make a joke about how many times you've handled a bunch of meat puppets, but well, I'll leave that unsaid.
Okay. Fine. All right. And yeah, she's just gonna click.
Okay. So, yeah, that's as taken care of as it's going to get, I suppose.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we'll just let it yeah.
Let it ride.
Yep. Let her ride.
Okay. So we'll switch over to Zach then.
Okay. So Zach's gonna go to well, find Val and then see if he can find Zero,
Okay.
or
mean
rather
Gareth?
Well,
Gareth.
if you're
Yes.
looking for Gareth, presently he would still be working with Mora and presumably Angie on the quick draw.
Okay. So yeah.
Okay, so you'll be in
uh,
the, yeah.
Yeah, so Gareth, you're a witness to the a rather awkward discussion about you're not able to pick up exactly what's going on because Annette is not super clear because she doesn't have complete information. But from what you gather, it would appear that Star Captain Thomas Ward has attempted to make a pass at Angie and scared her.
Yeah, he'll do his best to explain to her that this is just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, she. So between you and Annette, actually, you know what? Give me a social check.
Okay, let me look it up. Social.
Charisma. Just do charisma.
Okay, charisma. Well, both are a 7 for me, so it wouldn't matter.
Okay. I'm gonna say Annette being there will let you make this at -2.
And that was a really bad roll. That is still a failure by a margin of 2 because the dice hate me.
Okay.
Oh God.
So in the process of explaining, or trying to explain how this is a perfectly normal thing for clanners to do, you have somehow made it seem a bit worse than it was. Annette manages to calm her down and assure her that she's not in danger. And finally, she kind of says, "Yeah, I just I don't know. He's really intimidating. Like I wasn't. I felt almost like I wasn't allowed to say no, if that makes sense.
Oh, I fully understand.
Like he's not gonna freak out if I turn him down, is he?
Oh, heavens no.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of just ran for my life. I wasn't really thinking. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy. It's just I don't go down on the first date, you know, or the second one, or or really at all much.
I fully understand that. The clans have a very casual attitude towards such matters.
Right.
In fact, by clan standards, I am considered a prude.
She okay, so there's where your bad charisma came in. She backs away and says, "I think I'm gonna go take a break for a little bit. Mora, you pick up for me? Yeah,
Mora
sweetie.
rolls
Just
her
go
eyes.
go ahead and take care of yourself, okay?" She
In fact,
she
Gareth
smacks
just-
Gareth upside the back of the head a little. Just
I know he just kind of sheepishly smiles at her because he realizes he probably should have just shut up.
like, Gareth, when you find yourself in the hole, step 1 is to put the shovel down.
Exactly.
He just nods quietly.
And then it goes,
That's
all right. I got stuff to do. And around this time is when Zach approaches.
Zach and Val. I guess you're trying to drag her into this.
Oh, okay. I guess yeah, I suppose Val is heading back to the mech beta. Yeah, make sure everything's secure.
Okay.
Say, hey, Gareth, I want you to take a look at something here. I'm gonna pass him a pad with scribbles on it of like basic technical stuff of how I want the Centurion to be. So, I'm thinking about trading with Ross for that nice shiny new Gauss rifle of his, and I was wondering if you'd like to help me come up with an alternate configuration because I have no idea what the hell pod space is for. So I was wondering if you could help me out with that.
Okay, so what you're saying is you wish to suggest an alternative configuration for the Shadow Cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me take a look at this. He takes the pad up and just holds it up to his face for a moment. Then he grabs a pen and starts to scribble some things down. So, if we replace the Gauss rifle with an extended range PPC, and then we replace the lasers with a single medium pulse laser here, and then do we still have that LRM-10 launcher with Artemis 4?
Oh yeah, the one that my Centurion originally came with. Yeah, we got it packed up.
Perfect. We can retrofit that into an Omnipod. And
Sweet.
Like, he ends up giving you what is basically the paper doll that you would use to read how a mech is put together for the tabletop game.
Yeah.
I like record sheets being canonical. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a technical document, really.
I believe Ross should find this satisfactory.
All right. Thanks. By the way, why is your face red?
I may have said something I should not have in a botched attempt to explain cultural differences.
Moro chimes in and says, normally when guys are into feet, it's someone else's foot they're putting in their mouth, but Gareth seems to have a thing for his own feet.
He just
Eyebrow raised from Val.
yeah, Gareth just looks over her and asks, "Is that a thing in the inner sphere?"
Don't ask.
I've never heard of it, and I've been to fucking
Not in the inner sphere, but it's
Canopia.
in the Magistry.
There's some guy, call sign Delta 505, who's really into it. I don't... Don't ask me how I know.
Okay, so
shade.
so I guess be that as it may, my next stop is to go hunt down Ross.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
Ross
yeah,
is
we'll
over by the Wolfhound, chatting with the technicians over there. God, the motorcycles are out in force tonight. It's so loud over here.
Oh,
I
yeah, they're having
apologize
fun.
to people watching the stream. There's a lot of motor noises in the back.
So Ross, have you gone through all my booze yet?
Well, no, but I'm giving it as good a try as I can. You guys showered a lot on me. I got enough to at least last me till we get to Susquehanna.
Well, maybe, maybe not. And on that note, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Seeing how you have this thing for PPCs, and seeing
You're
how I
gonna
have a
want to
thing for
rephrase that slightly.
we're debating a redesign, a refit, and we're wondering if maybe you want to do some swaps.
Oh, yeah. Well, he looks over at where the Shadow Cat is parked. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all negotiable.
Okay.
So
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want the Shadow Cat, and I'm going to slide that pad that Gareth came up with, the paper doll that Gareth came up with. I just want the Gauss rifle, and this is an alternative pod configuration that Gareth came up with as a trade.
yeah, what do you think? Do you think that works?
Okay, so go ahead and describe the. We'll get to you in a second, Zero. Go ahead and describe the refit in detail.
The refit it has an ER is a clan ERPPC, clan medium pulse laser, and a Intersphere LRM-10 with Artemis.
Okay, and how's that gonna play with the Shadow Cat's cooling?
That's a good question.
Well, okay. The Clan PPC has the same firepower as the Gauss rifle.
Right, but it's a lot more heat.
Yes, but with 10 double heat sinks, if you walk and fire the ERPPC and either the LRM launcher or the pulse laser, you will be heat neutral. The idea is he can fire the ERPPC and the LRM launcher until he gets to within the minimum range for the LRMs, at which point he'll be in medium range for the pulse laser.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that's better heating than what his Wolfhound has. So, or better cooling rather than his Wolfhound has. So he'll take a look at the refit and be like, "Yeah, no, that looks like an upgrade in my book."
And it also has a 2-ton ammo capacity, so he can mix and match ammo types if he wants to.
Yeah, I could take some. Yeah, I could take different types of missile ammo. That's definitely a benefit. I might drop that and try to put another heatsink in at some point. Drop a ton of ammo because LRM-10 doesn't eat up that much. But yeah, no, this is. Yeah, you want the Gauss rifle? Sure. Yeah, I'd say that's fine.
Cool. She'll shake on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd normally make people roll for this, but I think that you guys have put enough work on the back end to make this agreeable outside of game that we can just say that it works. Now, Zero, you had something you were trying to say?
No, I just explained what it was. Like, Gareth would have
Okay.
added little notes to explain, like, the trade-offs of this particular configuration.
Okay, cool.
I guess Val.
So, do you want the record sheet for this? Or the Megamech file, since you can plug that into Flex Sheets?
Yeah, that would be great if you wouldn't mind sending that through Discord.
All right,
guess
I am
we didn't need
posting the MTF file in the MechWarrior channel.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, no, it'll be MechLab. Never
all right,
mind.
go ahead, Oswald.
Yeah, I guess we didn't need Val. She's just my good luck charm.
There we go. Okay.
So my last stop for the day is going to be to Hobson, and this I haul out. I got a bottle of my cheapest booze because that's how he rolls.
Okay.
I'm gonna come up to him and say, "Hey, I got a question for you."
And he looks at you, looks at the bottle in your hand, smirks, and says, yeah, I got an answer for you. If the price is right.
So tell me, you ever built a mech scale melee weapon before?
Built? No, but I've rigged a few onto some mechs, and I mean, they're not exactly complicated. They're big fuck-ass pieces of metal.
Okay, well, this is yours if you well, you got to clear it with a net, of course, but I want to put you to work building my Centurion a hatchet.
A hatchet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll need to get Annette's permission. Space is at a bit of a premium here, and that'll take up some room to start fabricating something, but I'm sure we can work something out.
We got plenty of scrap steel.
Yeah, we do have plenty of scrap steel, that's for sure. Yeah, I suppose I could take a look into that.
All right, thank you.
By the way, do you know... I don't know who to ask about this, but you're like second in command of the whole company, so you might be the guy to ask. Are there any vacant bunks around this ship?
I don't think so. I
Damn it.
remember when the elementals first came aboard, we had to put together some berths for them.
Out of character, the former infantry commander's bunk is now vacant because
That's
he's
true.
dead.
That's true. Yeah. Well, now I think of it. Yeah, Jack's not here out among us anymore. Yeah, there's a couple of berths open.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been rooming with Hudson, and, well, to be frank, he's not my favorite guy anymore. He made Angie cry.
Oh, I heard some rumors. Is it that bad?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the details. I'm not exactly the smartest guy, but I know that whatever it was, it made her really upset, and she's not the kind to get upset without a good reason.
Hmm. Well, that steams me up a bit. Tell you what, you get to work, and I think maybe I'll get to work.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah. What room did Jack have?
I think he was on
Just make something
deck
up.
deck 3, level 12, so over there. That's where that's where I saw the infantry when they're off time.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll move my stuff over there once I get this set up. I'll have a chat with Annette, and hey, keep the booze flowing, and I'll do what I can for you.
Well, I'm running out. Hopefully, Pomme de Terre's got some.
Well, it's called potato, so maybe there's some vodka.
I can live with that.
I
Oh.
guarantee you there's some big distilleries there.
Don't believe me. I could live with some of that.
All
That
right.
he pops the cork and starts to take a drink, and then you hear, "Hey, Hobson!" And Annette just points at him and shakes her head. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm still on the job." Corks it, puts it down in his toolbox. I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna taste it, Annette.
This
She-
bad taste out of my mouth.
She does that like the fingers pointing at her eyes, then pointing at him. The "I'm watching you" gesture.
The evil monkey stare. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I am gonna go rummaging around in the back closet where they keep their letter stencils, and I'm looking for red paint.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a moment. Ethan, was there anything more you were gonna do?
I'm gonna be drafting a, report. Like I'm writing up all of my experiences with the penetrator for Callan.
Okay. Yep.
It's gonna be a long blurb when you send that out finally.
Yeah. So there's lots of data. Rachel helps you with this as well, getting a lot of it collated. She's been keeping notes on a lot of it. Hudson, what are you up to?
I mean, it sounds like we're going to be dusting off soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point to doing anything on planet because we're leaving. So I mean, I'm button up work on the Archer as best I can, and I guess get ready to do whatever it is I do during takeoff. No one's talking to me, so I don't really have much to interact with right now. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss here.
Okay. I mean, the technicians aren't chatting with you, but there's other people aboard the ship.
You did kind of paint yourself into a corner there.
Yeah, I'm aware. It was partially on purpose.
Partially.
I don't know. I go to the mess hall and eat, I guess.
Okay. Well, when you get to the mess hall, Cook's one of the only people who seems more or less personable towards you. There's some of the ship crew that aren't like the Annette's technicians. They're some of James's people, and they seem indifferent like they always are. But Cook gives you some decent food.
All right, all right. Yeah, he might actually open up the cook a little bit if he's actually staying there at all, if he's not just running back to Cook more. Says, Cook, tell me, you ever feel like you were stuck between just bad choices?
Oh man, I made more bad choices in my life than I could shake a stick at.
Yeah, yeah. Do you ever feel like they were your only option, like there was not a right answer?
Well, he plops himself heavily down into the seat across from you. Here's the thing, Hudson. There's always another option. And sometimes, if you take a moment to get a new perspective on things, you might find one of the bad options isn't quite as bad as you thought. Now, I don't know your situation. I won't pretend that I do, but I would say that when I find myself in a spot where I'm between a rock and a hard place, it helps to go and get a new perspective. There's always a different choice, and if there really doesn't look like there's one, then it's probably a problem with your perception more so than your situation.
I suppose so. I actually took this job so I could get a different perception on things.
How's
It
that
just
worked
takes
out for
time,
you?
I think. It takes time. It's not something you can just flip a switch and get there.
Well, is there anyone on the ship who's maybe been where you are, and or at the very least, you're a noble guy, right? You bigwig somewhere.
Yes, that will be the short version.
Well, I would assume whatever you're dealing with has probably got something to do with that.
Well, Major Hollister is my commanding officer. I can't exactly talk with him too easily.
Oh, well, he's not the
Valeria
only
is a
option.
bit different. Well, I mean, Valeria's a bit different, and she's certainly busy. She has her own take on things.
Well, what
Gareth,
about
I mean, technically Gareth's a noble, but that would be a bad idea for several reasons.
what about Richard?
What about Richard?
Well, Richard's from a noble house.
Has he ever said that around me?
Um, were you present for the training where he taught you guys how to like serve tea and
Oh,
have
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
manners?
Yeah, I was there for that.
Okay. So he didn't outright state that he was a noble to you, but he did mention that he was Curitan and seemed to have a good understanding of what high society expects in terms of etiquette. And you
Okay.
hadn't really connected the dots until now, but in hindsight, yeah, it does seem to make sense.
Okay. Yeah, Hudson sort of has a little moment of revelation. Ah, I was discounting a lot because he's Curidan. Hopefully
Uh,
you understand.
yeah, well, Steiners discount Curitans at their own peril quite a bit, I understand.
Hmm.
You know, I'm something of a drac myself.
Well, we all come from different walks, I suppose.
Indeed we do, but, I mean, hey, if you're having trouble with your noble family, nobody's had more trouble with their noble family than Richard has.
Didn't Val get kicked out by hers?
Yes, but, well, you already mentioned that you weren't particularly interested in hearing from her about it.
I didn't say that, just that I believe her take is perhaps very different from my own, let's say.
Ah, well, in any case, Richard's not in a too dissimilar situation himself.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. I think we're about to take off, so I'm just going to go and assume Richard has his hands full for the foreseeable few hours.
For the next
But,
few hours, to be sure, but his off shift tends to come in the evenings, so he's normally in here at around 1400 or so, grabbing some food.
Wonderful. I will keep that in mind, Cook.
Well, best of luck. He squeezes himself back out of the booth that he managed to plop himself in. It takes him a couple tries. He says, "Yeah, you know, I said I made mistakes. Gaining too much weight was definitely one of them." And finally, just hauls himself out and waddles his way back into the kitchen.
Once again, making a mistake at every turn. All right. Hudson just goes back to eating whatever it is he was served because he knows he can't talk to Richard yet.
Okay. We will. Uh, let's see. Ethan was doing that, so we'll move over to Val.
Oh, okay. Well, I think she's got pretty much all she wants to get finished up. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there is one thing. I assumed I saw your
Okay.
message earlier where you were
Yeah.
going back with Richard.
Yeah.
So he's about to head up to the bridge to start the takeoff sequence, but you do actually manage to catch him for a moment in his quarters, and you've caught him at a time that's different from usual. And he appears to be doing some kind of preparation for getting ready to go to work. And
Oh.
so as you walk into the room, he's got a tatami mat laid out on the floor, and he is kneeling on it, uh, in his work outfit, and uh, he appears to be. Almost looks like meditation, and you see that he's actually facing a small. You've never really noticed it before because every time you've come into his room, it's been dark. But off on one side, he has a sort of table set up, and there is a set of Japanese swords there.
Uh, okay. I don't want to interrupt him, so I guess I'll. But he's probably aware that I'm in the room.
Yes.
So,
So, well, once the door opens, he slowly rises to his feet and turns to look at you, realizes that he's not wearing his shirt, and rapidly
uh,
pulls his shirt on.
she's going to find herself staring just a little bit too long, and a little bit perhaps obviously, and then find her face getting hot. Sorry, is this a bad time?
Well, it would be, but I just finished with what I was doing, so it is not anymore.
What were you doing?
When I am about to do something difficult or sensitive or with a lot of weight behind it, I like to clear my mind and ensure that I am properly focused for the task ahead. It is a technique that I was taught by my father.
Oh, okay. Um, Interesting. I've never seen you have swords.
Ah, yes. These are. He walks over and he lays a hand on the largest. So you've seen what these Japanese sword stacks kind of look like. There's usually three
Yeah,
of them in
exactly.
different lengths. So he
Hmm.
puts his hand on the largest one. Says, these belong to my father. I inherited them before I left.
Oh, okay. She admittedly doesn't know very much about Korean society or culture, but she does know she's seen the swords before. So it's like, okay, they look impressive. I guess I don't know much about those though.
They carry a great deal of significance. They
Oh,
are a physical manifestation of our ancestors' will. They've been passed down through the family through generations, and only those who are deemed worthy are allowed to carry them. When I left, my father demanded that I return them to him. I refused.
I see. So they're very important to you then.
It is my desire to one day prove to my father that I am worthy of them. But I did not think that I could do that while he still possessed them. He would simply lock them away. Better to keep them on hand so that I could, at the very least, make use of them if needed.
Well, in my book, I think you're more than worthy of them. And she'll, yeah, give him a hug.
Thank you, Valeria. It is the
Oh, I'm
approval
sorry.
of my father who I really need, but your approval nonetheless is greatly appreciated.
I don't mean to distract you if you're going to fly the ship. I'm sorry.
Oh, the ship. He pulls on his belt and tightens everything up. He's got his regular get up on now. Yes, We're supposed to be taking off in a few moments. I need to be on the bridge.
Okay. Well, good
well,
luck either way.
Make yourself comfortable, I suppose. He gives you a
Well,
gives you a little kiss and heads out of the room.
yeah. Well, we're strapping in somewhere, so I'll follow him out like a lost little puppy.
Okay, so having said goodbye, it is now slightly awkward as you walk side by side toward the bridge
Well, that's okay.
in awkward silence. But when you get to the bridge where your paths will start to split, he gives you another quick kiss before going inside.
Okay, she'll do likewise.
Okay, and everybody is now strapped in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get off this
All
rock.
right.
Okay, so the ship lifts off, and everything is shuddering and shaking, but you've leave the planet's atmosphere. Everything seems to be going smoothly. Give me a moment here. Okay, yeah. So there's no alerts or klaxons or anything of that nature. And you seem to be having a very routine planetary exit. And after a few
Menace.
hours, everything kind of settles back into its rhythm, and Richard is able to set the ship onto autopilot.
Okie dokie.
So, Hudson, did you want to try to talk to Richard?
Sure. If the timing is such that he would be at the mess hall, sure.
Okay. Yeah, so having heard what Chef usually says about Richard's schedule, you do manage to catch him on his way in.
Okay. Fuck, I forgot his name. Mr. Ennerbaum, hello. You having lunch?
Yes, I was about to.
Can I sit with you? I was about to get a coffee myself.
If you would like, I wouldn't mind the company.
All right.
So he leads you inside. You guys get your food and your coffee, and he sits down. And after eating a few bites, sits back and says, "To what do I owe the pleasure?"
Just looking for different perspective. I hope you don't mind perhaps being used as a sounding board.
No, I do not mind at all.
I suppose I should establish something first. You're from a family of some import, as I understand.
Yes, well, the Ennerbomb status has gone down somewhat since the Ronin War, but we do still maintain something of a position in the Draconis Combine.
Sorry, I'm just distracted by a DM from one of the players. Hang on.
Okay.
Yes. Train of thought. Yes, how did you end up out here and not, you know, maintaining family holdings or whatnot? Has it all been, at the risk of being crass, has it been perhaps broken up?
No, the holdings have not been broken up, but I made a rather simple mistake. I was young, I was idealistic, and I was in love. When the Ronin War began, my family fled to the Draconis Combine. The anti-Kiritan sentiments among the people of Rosselhog were rather strong. They feared retaliations that never quite materialized, but it was a valid fear at the time. I had grown up among the local people and had always considered myself more Rosselhog than Kiritan. And so when my family left, I chose to stay behind and to join a resistance cell, along with a young woman I was enthralled with at the time. I felt very strongly about it back then, and perhaps it was a mistake, but, well, it cannot be undone now. My father told me in no uncertain terms that I was no longer his son unless I were to find a way to prove myself worthy again. So, and in terms of how I got here, I was ejected from the cell after a rather nasty ambush that left most of us dead. I was blamed for it, being the only person of Kiritan descent in the group, and expelled. I wandered the desert for nearly a week, nearly died of starvation and thirst, was taken in by a kindly elderly couple who found me and nursed me back to health. I was a vagrant for a while on the streets until I smuggled my way aboard a dropship. I was caught stowing away, but rather than throw me out of the airlock, as was standard practice, they took pity on me and taught me my trade. After a few years of that, I am now here.
Fair enough. Do you think you'd ever return to your family?
I would love to. But there are complications. I have gone a long way out of what they wanted me to be, and I am not the same person I was when we last met. I communicate with my mother, still, but my father I have not had the courage to approach. I wish to make myself worthy of his attention, at least in his eyes, before I try again.
A reasonable and certainly commendable goal to have, trying to earn your way back like that.
Yes.
I can't say I'm in exactly the same boat, but it's at least sailing alongside it, let's say.
Well, what is your situation like? What is it that you feel you have to do to get back into your family's good graces?
I'm already in their good graces. I simply didn't like the plan they had for me. I'm the third son. I'm someone who was unexpected and would be shuffled off to the side, given a land holding and a wife, and just be told to just go, don't embarrass the family, and try not and live until you die. That was pleasant enough, but also horribly boring and seemed like a waste. So I been raised by my grandfather. He told me stories of my grand uncle, who was, I think, the last great MechWarrior in my family. And I thought perhaps if I followed in his footsteps, maybe I could be more than just the unwanted son.
I see.
So I came out here to get away from the people who otherwise would have laid out the entire course of my life.
So it is not their approval necessarily that you seek. You wish to surpass their expectations.
That would be the summary of it, I suppose, yeah.
I wonder, what is it that you think of yourself, Hudson?
I have not drunk enough to give a full honest answer to that. Let us say, not too highly. My life up until now has been a situation of I didn't have to try for anything. If I was ever having a problem, or even before trying, I would simply say, oh, if only this could be taken care of, and it would be. And that ground into me that I could not do anything on my own. I needed someone to do it for me because I was just too incompetent. And when I broke away from my family, or at least stepped back from my family to try doing something on my own, I ended up proving that right. My military posting after university was a bit of an embarrassment. They ended up discharging me after 2 years because they would rather just be rid of me. And, well, I believe you were here. One of my first missions on this force here, I dropped an empty battle mech on one of the technicians. And
Yes.
it's been a series of errors since then.
Yes, but at the same time, I have heard that you were improving in a lot of ways.
I like to think so, but it is slow going, and for lack of a better term, the failure is still there, quite strong, and will bear its head often without warning.
Well, perhaps I could offer you some advice. Well, I don't wish to compare numbers and statistics, but I do believe that I have been at this game for perhaps a little longer than you have.
Well, my grandfather had a saying: we could play the game of who's had the harder life, but we would both lose.
Yes,
But by
indeed.
all means, if you have advice, I am all ears.
Very well. I think that perhaps, Hudson, your journey should be one that is more focused on yourself. You seem to be worried very much about what it is your family thinks of you and where you're going to end up at the end, the status that you will achieve. Now, this is a concern that I had for myself for a very long time. After all, I wished to be worthy of my father's approval. But I never wished to gain it merely by becoming wealthy or by making a name for myself. What I wanted to do was to prove that I was capable of living a good life, one that is fulfilling, one that is complete, without needing someone to hand it to me. What I have done, what I've always sought to do, is to just be as much of a typical person as I can. The true nobility is internal, not external. It is something that you earn for yourself, not something that you could purchase or that you could necessarily trade for or have given to you. When I've had many opportunities. At any time, I could rush back to my family with contrition and perhaps be accepted back in and perhaps be forgiven for all of my faults. But at the same time, I hesitate to call what I did a fault. Everything that I did for a reason. I have a, perhaps too strong, but I have a rather strong sympathetic streak. I wish to help others, to do things that put myself at risk in order to ensure that justice is served. These are all things that I thought I had learned from my father, and yet when the time came, he chose to flee where I chose to stay. It's all very confusing, but I do believe that my mistakes come from a genuine place, even when I fail. And so, I do not wish to say that everything I have done has been a mistake. I would rather know that the mistakes that I made served a better purpose, and that where I ended up at the end is where I wanted to be. That's the key, Hudson. I think what you need to do is ask yourself what you really want to be, not simply what title do you want to hold or what career path do you want to have been able to look back on, what photos in your album, but what do you truly want out of life? And is it really as shallow and as simple as just being someone of status? Because status, money, it all corrupts, it all goes over time. But your legacy, who you really are, is what truly lasts. When you're an old man and looking back over your life, it is better to have no regrets.
Well, I've certainly seen an old man full of regrets.
We all
He
have.
raised me.
Oh, I know what that is like. And I do believe that our fathers always want us to be better men than them, or that they want us to avoid the same mistakes, and yet they're always so bad at communicating it. It's always... And a lot of times they lead us down the same path, the same mistakes that they made, while trying to help us avoid it. We are rebellious creatures, after all. The more they tell us not to do something, the more we wish to try.
I suppose that's the difference. My father was so cold and distant, he didn't care what I did.
Well, my father was cold and distant as well. I was given things. You have to understand, my father, he was raised in having to do most things on his own. I was given the best tutors, the best schooling. I was given a sensei to teach me to teach me the art of the sword. something I have never had any use for or desire to use. I never wanted to take a life. But it was what you did for your sons. And in setting me up, he seems to have inspired the idea that I am more loyal to those who taught me than I am to him. But it was always done with the
Maybe.
best of intentions.
Oh, so much is done with the best of intentions, isn't it?
It is indeed. But even when you fail, the intentions do matter, or they should, at least to you. And failure is an opportunity to learn and to do better next time, which I can see you've already managed to do.
Hudson's kind of quiet for a second. He says, "A question for you. You're, for lack of a better term, close to Valeria, yes?"
He pauses for a second and has a little trouble making eye contact. He says, I suppose that is the word. We are... I think to call us a couple would be accurate at this stage.
Kind of raise the coffee and a little toast, say, "Well, congratulations there."
Thank you.
If you knew for a fact that if she stayed with you, she would be hurt badly, as in worse than any injury she's ever suffered, what would you do?
He thinks for a moment. You mean physically, or...
Emotional
Oh.
damage.
You will have to elaborate further, I'm afraid.
Well, I suppose anything would be on the table, but let us say emotionally, mentally hollowed out to the point where she's a broken person who no longer believes in herself or anything.
My goodness, why should she ever have to face such a thing?
One should hope she never will. This is a hypothetical.
A hypothetical. Well, hypotheticals, if they're of any use, are based in some sort of actuality. What situation are you in that this would be relevant for? I think that is more important than the question itself.
He kind of lets out a slow breath. He says, "My grandfather obviously had a wife at one point in the past. I've seen the pictures of her. She was a lovely young woman who stole his heart completely and who he loved deeply. Unfortunately, my family did their best to accept her, but Steiner aristocracy is not a pleasant environment for the uninitiated. I have seen the pictures of her as she aged, and I've seen her go from a young, vibrant, hopeful woman to hollowed out, bitter, no smile, staring into the middle distance. And my grandfather says he watched it happen, unable to stop it because that was just the environment he lived in."
I see.
Christ, that's bleak.
You fear that if you were to get close to someone, they would suffer the same fate.
Unless they had been raised in a similar environment and knew how to handle it. But someone who perhaps was a bit more innocent would suffer easily the same fate. A slow decay of everything they are until there's simply nothing left.
Well, here's the thing, Hudson. Different people are different people. This is not the sort of decision that you can make for someone. Now, if it were me and Valeria, I would wish to make it clear to her that this is what we were facing, and that not hint at it or beat around the bush or try to put her through some kind of test, but to actually say, in no uncertain terms, precisely what she would be facing. To let her know up front and ask very, very precisely if that changes her opinion and if she was still interested, and if so, to trust her own knowledge of herself and to take her word for it. She would know better than I would what she's capable of handling. I respect her. I respect that if she believes she has the strength for such things, she would be able to deal with it. And I also think that if someone truly loves someone else, I can't speak for your grandmother, I won't attempt to, but. Well, she did stay with him, did she not?
Short answer, yes. Though, having been transported to a different planet from her home planet, it's debatable whether she had the option to leave.
Perhaps, and yet. But those who are desperate enough will usually find a way. It is possible that perhaps she did love him all the way to the end and thought that it was worth it. Again, I won't attempt to speak for her, but I know that in Valeria's case, I know her well enough to know that that's what she would say to me.
Well, I told you I've seen an old man full of regrets. My grandfather had quite a list, and what happened to my grandmother was certainly one of them.
Perhaps, but
Whether she loved him or not, it left a scar for him.
perhaps. But at the same time, that was his thing to deal with. You cannot make these sorts of choices for a woman. If she has decided that you're the one she wishes to spend her life with and she takes the consequences willingly, well, that is her decision to make. We all want what's best for the ones that we love, but at the end of the day, they rule their own lives. It is cruel to deny somebody what they truly want just because it will be uncomfortable for them.
Something to think on. I suppose I was raised to believe that my role is to make decisions for other people. But I
Well,
suppose you make a point as well.
in some circumstances, but when it comes to this sort of thing, it is best to let people make their own choices. After all, it would be a bit stuck up of us to assume that we can make a decision for someone else's life. At least their private life.
Well, again, I might have been raised a bit differently. But I see where you're coming from, Mr. Annenbaum.
It is one of the responsibilities of nobility is finding the line between where our authority lies and where we must respect the automity. Automity? That's not a word.
English is a second language.
Hold on. What word am I looking for?
Words are hard.
Autonomy.
Autonomy. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Respecting the autonomy and the rights of those who we are responsible for. It is not always easy to find, but there is a point where our influence ends and their life begins.
Well, that much I can agree with. And again, he raises his coffee in a little salute there. So finding the balance is a tricky thing.
Yes, it is part of Kiritan ideology. Everything must be balanced, to an extent. There are only so many problems can be solved with assault mechs. He winks at you as he takes a drink.
I would complain, but my granduncle did drive a Zeus. So yes, there is some truth to that unfortunate stereotype.
The jest is meant in good humor, Hudson.
Of course, of course.
I hope that I've been helpful. I'm not always the most articulate man, but I try my best.
No, no. It's always good to listen to other opinions. Sometimes you can get a different view on things, and, well, that is one reason I'm out here and not languishing on a landhold that I was given so that I would shut up and leave everyone alone.
You have a tremendous opportunity here, Hudson, and you also have something of a second family. One that I have determined, at least in my case, is equally as important to me as my first one. I have loyalty and a tremendous amount of respect for my father and for my immediate, my flesh and blood, but at the same time, I've been adopted by these people. And so have you.
Hudson raises a finger and says, I believe there's another balance issue. No one
Indeed.
said it out loud, but there has been implied that if I feel my family is holding me back, I need to cut them off. And that's not happening.
Well, perhaps there's a misunderstanding there. After all, it is not your family who has sent you out here. You have chosen this life for yourself. Perhaps they think that, much like me, you were cast aside, or like Valeria, you were cast aside and have come here out of desperation, rather than seeking glory.
Yes, that does seem to happen quite a bit. But yes, I suppose I might be a bit of a standout in being someone who actually chose to be out here when I could have very easily just taken the easy road.
Misunderstandings like these are common, especially among people who don't understand the weight of nobility and what it really demands of us. It often comes across as being self centered or self interested, but it's never intended that way. But it is often taken that way. And sometimes it just genuinely is us being self centered and not considering others, because we're not used to having to.
If enough people perceive it being that way, it might as well be that way.
Precisely,
I
which is
see what
why
you're
it's
saying.
very important that when things are perceived that way, we make an effort to show that, demonstrate through action, notably, that that is not the case.
Hmm.
Trust is very difficult to earn and very easy to lose.
That much I'm aware of. I seem to be on one end of that particular scale right now. But if I wanted the easy route, I wouldn't be here. So I suppose this might actually work out.
I believe that you have what it takes to be successful here, Hudson. You simply need to get out of your own way once in a while.
Why do people keep saying that? Yes, I suppose.
I will be rooting for you either way. And if
Hmm.
there is anything you struggle with, I would be happy to discuss it with you. There is a good chance that perhaps it is something I myself have faced.
Well, I do practice with a sword now and again, so if you're looking for a sparring partner, hit me up.
Well, I wouldn't want to hurt you.
Well, surely someone like you must have a practice blade.
I do have one.
Excellent. I'm horrible enough with it that the blade I normally use might as well be a practice blade.
Oh, very well. Yes, I suppose such a thing could be arranged. Though, I would not be much good as a teacher, I'm afraid. I am skilled with the sword itself, but not in teaching others how to use it. Most of what I know is muscle memory.
That's perfectly fine. That's about where I am too.
He finishes up his dinner and sets the plate aside. I should probably go check things on the bridge, but my door is always, well, my door is open to you so long as it is not evening hours. If it is
You'd best
evening
take care
hours,
of,
knock.
You'd best take good care of Valeria.
Oh, believe me, I think she will be taking good care of me, if anything.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Pauses for a moment, says, "That was poorly phrased. I did not mean it that way."
That's all right. I believe she would. She would mean it that way.
Yes, she would, and that is half the problem.
Yes, well, good afternoon, Mr. Enderbaum. I'm sure we'll run into each other again sooner or later.
And he rises up from the table, gives you a nod, and heads out.
And thank you for your time.
You are most welcome. All right. So, does anyone else have something they want to do en route to the jump point?
Actually, yes. I've already discussed this with Lucian. Gareth was in the mess hall eavesdropping on the conversation the whole time.
Okay.
So he is going to get up from where he was sitting and approach Hudson. And he just asks, "Am I to sit down with you and have a chat, Hudson?"
Well, I just had one of those, but I suppose seconds could be called for.
Okay, so he pulls out a chair, or I'm about to say, do they have separate chairs, or are these like benches?
So they're booths, but there are some loose chairs with like magnetic attachments down at the feet. So you can pull up a chair and do the Commander Riker maneuver.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that is exactly what he's going to do. So he just sits down and takes a moment to pause and asks, I want you to be honest with me, Hudson. What happened between you and Angie?
Well, before I answer that, I need to ask how that's any of your business.
I am sleeping with one of the technicians. They talk to each other, and I have heard some rather unflattering things about your conduct.
Somehow unsurprising. What happened between me and Miss, whatever her name is, Hawthorne? I suppose I was overly honest with her about what might be expected of me, and by extension, what might be expected of her.
Elaborate.
She has been, let us say, implying interest in me. I suppose a few nights ago was the first time she actually expressed it more openly, actually asked if I was single. My response was to tell her what might be expected of a Lyra noble, and at least implied, I suppose, that she might not fit in that particular life plan.
Is that all? Because I find that hard to believe based on how I was told she reacted.
I may have been a bit blunt, and out of game. It's been 2 weeks. I forget exactly what was said.
Okay, so
I may have been a bit
as I
blunt.
recall, how it went down was, she had been dropping hints for quite a while, and getting some reciprocation. Managed to get a date set up. Opened a more direct line because it looked like Hudson was kind of not quite getting it, and Hudson's response was to talk about uh, how as a nobleman, the life that he was expected to live was basically to go into a loveless arranged marriage for the rest of his life. Angie then asked if that's the sort of thing he wanted to do, and he replied, I believe his reply was something to the effect of, that's the life that he's going to have whether he likes it or not.
That's basically what I told Gareth, just with a whole lot more words.
The key difference is that the way that you said it implied that um, that he wasn't even remotely interested in her and would prefer his life of uh, going to marry some stranger who doesn't love him.
All right. Well, then I'll add on in my response to Gareth. Say, I may have been overly blunt and perhaps implied that it would be best for everyone if I simply went with my family's expectations of being paired with someone other than her.
Hang on. Actually. Mage, are you okay with me asking him to roll charisma to see if Gareth actually buys this story?
I'll tell you
I
what.
mean, it's technically true.
What I'm going to do.
Yeah, but Gareth is not inclined. Gareth is kind of inclined to believe the worst about Hudson just because
Okay.
he
All right,
has.
fair.
So what we're gonna do?
He doesn't think very highly of Lyrans.
What we're going to do
That's
here
fair.
is going to be a contested roll. It is going
Oh,
to
boy.
be intuition versus social.
Okay, so my intuition is a 6.
Goody. I mean, technically what I said was true, but let's
So
see.
if
I rolled a 10.
okay,
Success margin of 4.
Doesn't make it believable.
all right,
True.
Hudson, what'd you get?
All right. I rolled a 9, and my social is an 8, so it's a margin of success of 1.
Okay, so you have a total margin of success of 5. So Hudson is able to accurately communicate what happened, and Gareth is able to assess that as far as Hudson is concerned, he is telling the truth.
Yeah, and Hudson will be able to see Gareth visibly tense for a moment, even like starting to clench his fists, but slowly start to relax.
No, sir. I don't like it.
He does,
Very well.
Uh,
Very well, Hudson.
seeing that, Hudson says, "For what it's worth, I realized I was in a situation where there was perhaps no right answer, so I picked the one that perhaps brought the most hell on me and not on someone else."
Well, I wish I could say I did not know what you were talking about, but... Well, I'm not sure if I ever told you exactly of my own standing within the Jade Falcons.
Is this a conversation we'll be needing alcohol for?
If you wish, but it is not required.
He checks his chronometer. Well, it's 3 in the afternoon. I guess that's easy enough. He
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
goes to cook. Yeah, goes to cook and gets alcohol.
All right. He says, "Yeah, go easy on it till we get to Pomme de Terre. The stores are starting to run a little low."
Cook, you should have told me. I would have helped restock.
Well, there wasn't much booze available on Gunsberg. We'll be able to get more stuff when we get to the next planet in line.
And what was on Gunsberg might make you go blind.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
hear that they have programs for that. Oh, you were talking
yes,
about the
but better
booze.
not to need them. Anyway, pops open the beer and starts drinking that and says, "All right, Gareth. I'm in a state of mind to actually want to hear what happened to you. So, what was your standing in the Jade Falcon clan?"
Well, as I have explained to you before, that there was a political dispute between the clans, between those who were in favor of invading the Inner Sphere and those who wished to protect it. Now, the Jade Falcons are primarily the Crusader persuasion. I was a warden. And being a warden in a primarily Crusader clan is a very dangerous thing indeed.
Yes.
As in, my own commanding officer tried to have me killed. It is the entire reason I ended up with your unit.
He looks like he's about to say something and catches himself as, "Your commanding officer was the reason you were in this situation to begin with, then."
F. Mind you, my commanding officer, the man I reported to, is something more than just my commanding officer.
Big eyebrow raise. "I've heard a thing or two about how things are in the clans. What was this commanding officer to you?"
Well,
Wow.
not personally, just... Well, you are aware that I'm Trueborn, Quiaf?
You've managed to remind me at least twice a day since you started, so yes.
Well, besides that point, my blood name, the Chistu blood name, I am eligible for it because of who my gene mother was. Now, due to the genetic engineering program, your gene mother need not necessarily be a woman. My commanding officer was Galaxy Commander Vonda von Chistu.
When Gareth says, "My gene mother doesn't need to be a woman," Hudson just takes a long drink all of a sudden, like, gonna need another one of those. Hang on.
Vonda von Chistu is like Gesundheit.
Comes back with yet another beer, opens that, says, "Go on, Von Devon Chistu, yes."
Bless you.
The point is, he considered me a disgrace to himself and the clans. But that did not stop me from doing what I believe to be correct. So I'm asking you this. What is stopping you from doing what you desire? If you wish to marry Angie, or whatever it is you spheroids do, does your family's opinion really matter?
You're getting pretty far ahead of yourself here, Gareth. I barely know Angie.
The point is, do not let your family's prejudices. How should I put this? Do not let them decide your life's course for you. I certainly did not.
I'm going to pause everybody here
Yes.
for a second. I just want to throw up a warning. I just looked out my window. There's like gale force winds going out there. So if I lose power and we lose connection, that's what happened.
Oof.
We're going to keep this rolling, but just in case for the audience watching, if we cut out suddenly, that's probably why.
Okay, thanks for the heads up, Mage.
Okay, keep going.
Train of thought. What did Gareth just say? Don't let your family's something.
What he's saying is that basically what he's saying is ignore your family's wishes and do what you want. You're a warrior. Their opinion means nothing to you, or should mean nothing.
Kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "You believe in protecting the inner sphere from invasion.
Ah,
We caught you invading the inner sphere."
were you paying attention at all when I explained the distinction between Crusaders and Wardens?
You were pretty elaborate on it.
Okay, well, it was put up to a vote, and unfortunately the Crusaders won. Although, to be fair, considering what had happened immediately prior to the vote, it is understandable. You see, back in 3049, a Comstar vessel accidentally blundered amongst our homeworlds. And we feared that this was a vanguard of an invasion from the inner sphere. At the time, we believed that a preemptive strike was the most effective form of defense.
And that led to an invasion of the entire inner sphere?
Well, not the entire inner sphere, of course. We do not have the forces to invade the entire inner sphere.
Look, Gareth, the truth of it is, you had what you believed personally, but in the face of tremendous social pressure, you had to compromise on that so that you could survive. I understand what that's like.
I had to because it was my duty, but that does not mean that I liked it.
Well, then that's something I understand very deeply. There may be something you want, something you believe in, but because of who you are and where you're from, sometimes you don't get to have that.
And yet, it was still a choice. At the time, I believed I had no choice myself. But I was wrong.
You chose to support the civilization you came from, that you believed in, and it raised you.
I knew no other way.
Yep. And to look at you, I'd say part of you still believes that civilization is the right way.
I believe that the founders' ideals were not entirely in the wrong. Although, I'm not sure exactly where we went wrong. Was it in the Golden Century? Was it in the political century? Or was it always flawed?
Takes another drink from the beer and says, "Every system starts with the best of intentions and always turns into a mess. The question then is, are the people in charge someone who can handle the mess, or do they just add to it?"
That is a very good question, considering who the current Il Khan is, assuming he has not died, of course.
I'm a bit behind on my Clanner news reports. Who is the current Il Khan?
Last I checked, it was Ulrich Kerensky, the one responsible for the fiasco on Tukiad.
Wonderful.
Although knowing him, that may have been the plan from the start.
Alright, hang on. The Elementals lost one fight, and as a result, they're barred from ever going back. The Ilkhan lost the biggest fight ever, and he still has his job. How does that work?
No one has voted him out or killed him.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to see if that changes. I only just heard about what happened to Hans Davion. Bit of a shame there, but we'll see how his son does.
Indeed. I didn't, of course, never had a chance to meet the man, but I've heard he was honorable in his own way, would be the best way I could put it.
He had his own way of looking at things, let's say. From a more personal standpoint, he made things quite complicated. As the circles I travel in, the women now have certain expectations of a wedding gift, and it's quite a bit higher than it used to be.
Battletech lore joke.
Rods, am I right?
Which I should know, in character, Gareth does not know this, so he just raises an eyebrow and he asks, "What sort of gift are you talking about?"
Well, traditionally, when an aristocrat marries a woman, he brings some sort of grandiose gift to her to represent his love and cement their bond, and it's very often pomp and circumstance, but it can be quite impressive.
Like the
Hans Davion,
Federation.
yes,
Sorry.
Hans Davion did a bit of a hold my beer, if you're familiar with that term. On his wedding day, he gifted his wife the Capellan Confederation, the
At this
entire Capellan Confederation.
At this point, Gareth, who was drinking something, spits out his drink and starts coughing.
Yes, yes.
What?
Perhaps not the best tactical move on his part, let's say.
So his wedding present was a declaration of war on his enemy.
Effectively, yes.